Thanks for joining me again this week. This week we marked the 23rd anniversary of the attacks on our country on September 11th, 2001. This is a solemn day for our nation, especially for those families who lost loved ones, as well as for our first responder community who saw hundreds of their fellow sworn officers and firefighters make that ultimate sacrifice. Sadly, our nation's response to this day led to 8 years of war in Iraq and 20 years of combat in Afghanistan, with no better outcome than when it began. We're grateful for all those who served in these wars, but our engagement in these conflicts should never have lasted 2 decades. This week, BizNow's International Life Sciences and Biotech Conference was held in North Bethesda. This event attracted hundreds of life science and biotech business leaders from around the nation to Montgomery County and introduced them to the wealth of resources we have in our community. At this convention, I provided the opening remarks to attendees, and I said the following.
One of our biggest focuses now is making sure that we have everything that everybody else has. And I don't ever want anybody saying we would have loved to come to Montgomery County, but somebody else has something that you don't have. So we want to make sure that we can put in place over the coming years all the pieces that you would find anyplace else in the country to give us a complete set of tools to make everybody's success more possible here.
I was also glad that Governor Moore made himself available to attend this important gathering and participated in a fireside chat about the importance of our life sciences industry to the state's economic development and growth efforts. And here's a clip from that conversation.
You know, the assets that we have just in Montgomery County alone, I'm like, there's no reason why we should not be leading the charge. It's got to play a bigger role, because life sciences is going to be one of the core industries and areas that is going to help our state to win, but that's not going to happen by accident. It only happens if you invest.
With a new partnership with the University of Maryland to create the UM Institute for Health Computing, or UM-IHC for short, we are now on track to provide graduate level research on AI, quantum computing, and virtual reality, support and attract businesses who want access and proximity to these cutting edge technologies. When we meet with life science and biotech industry leaders, they're very intrigued and interested in the potential of UM-IHC. Even though this facility is still in its infancy, it is already boosting our economic development efforts. And earlier this week, we announced a new partnership with the Henry Jackson Foundation, the United States Military's Research Institute, to create HJF Innovation Labs at Montgomery County. This facility will provide access to lab space, clinical trial, and research expertise from Montgomery County companies. Another example of how we're maximizing the institutions and talent of our federal resources here. And this week we're hosting the BizNow International Life Sciences Conference right in our own backyard. It's another example of how we're strategically and aggressively courting life science companies to grow, expand, and/or relocate to Montgomery County. In 2000, Time magazine famously called the I-270 corridor DNA Alley, in recognition of the concentration of cutting-edge research and biotech companies that were already here in the county. From those early days, we've grown steadily, building on our strengths and expanding our infrastructure. Our growth has been driven by a commitment to fostering innovation, supporting entrepreneurs, and working hand-in-hand with our private sector partners. We've seen extraordinary advancements, from breakthroughs in biomedical research to the development of life-saving therapies and technologies. This is a place where the future of medicine and health is being shaped, and we're excited to continue to lead in this area. On Tuesday, I stood with County Council Vice President Kate Stewart, the Maryland Commission for Women Executive Director Ariana Kelly, and many other leaders calling for all Marylanders to guarantee access to abortion in Maryland. I want to thank the County Council for its unanimous support of the resolution affirming Montgomery County's commitment to protect reproductive rights. I think it's fundamentally outrageous that men are able to dictate the health and well-being of women. We would never tolerate anybody doing that to us, and we should not accept that men or the government should be dictating the reproductive rights of women. This resolution urges voters to support question 1 on the ballot in November, which enshrines in our state constitution reproductive freedom. We've already seen that the right has taken away or significantly scaled back these privileges in more than 20 states, including our neighbors, West Virginia. Even in nearby Pennsylvania, women face restrictive policies. Nationwide, there are more than 25 million women between ages of 15 and 44 dealing with some form of abortion restrictions that were not in place a few years ago. When the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, we took action in the county. We rallied behind our women's health care providers and came up with $1 million in abortion access grants to help them account for greater demand for their services and to aid in security costs, as well as to help women coming from other areas. I visited the Potomac Family Planning Center last month and I got to hear how our funds are being used. It feels good to know that our money is doing the work we intended and doing what we really need to do with it. One of the first things Governor Wes Moore did in office was release $3.5 million in expanded abortion training held up by the previous governor. That money was passed by the state lawmakers, but kept from our healthcare providers by the governor for no reason. I'm glad we have an administration in Annapolis whose policies align with ours in Montgomery County. On Monday, we officially launched 2 new Ride-On Extra bus routes to connect riders to key businesses in Rockville and Gaithersburg, along with the Shady Grove Life Sciences Center, Shady Grove Metro Station, and the universities at Shady Grove. The great Seneca Transit Network includes the Pink and Lime lines that have regular and reliable service for this growing area that needs more public transportation. Buses will arrive every 15 minutes during the weekday and every 30 minutes on the weekends. The zero-emission buses on this line are designed to be comfortable, easy to board, and include amenities such as free Wi-Fi and charging ports. I want to thank our state and federal delegations, which helped us to secure more than half of the $26 million in funding that was needed for this project. This is just phase 1 of our plan, and I'm happy to say it came in on budget and on time. To learn more about the new Great Seneca Transit Network, please visit montgomerycountymd.gov/mc. We have just launched this year's community survey. This is an opportunity to share your opinions anonymously. Questions are designed to get your views on county services and your quality of life. It will also help us gauge how well the county communicates with its residents on various household practices such as recycling, transportation, and public safety. The 10 to 12 minute survey is available on the county website. It's meant for adult residents only, 18 and up. We're looking for as much participation as possible from Montgomery County residents. It is recommended that you use a browser other than Internet Explorer to minimize problems in accessing the survey. The survey is available in 8 languages: English, Spanish, Chinese, French, Korean, Vietnamese, Farsi, and Amharic. Your voice is an essential part of shaping the future of Montgomery County, and I'm looking forward to sharing the results with you after the results are processed. This Sunday, September 15th, is the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. Throughout the month, the county will acknowledge the contributions of the Hispanic and Latino community to the cultural diversity and economic vitality of the county. Last weekend, I spent some time at the Salvadoran Independence Day Festival, which has celebrated its 19th year in Montgomery County. The first day of the Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated by several Latin American countries: Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. In Mexico, the day also marks the beginning of its Independence Day. There are more than a dozen activities honoring Hispanic heritage that you'll find on the county's calendar of celebrations. That is online at lhiinfo.org on the Latino Health Initiative website. The calendar details events hosted by Montgomery College, other local libraries, and other locations. Our next conversations will be on Monday, September 16th at the Wheaton Recreation Center and on Wednesday, September 18th at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Both of these events begin at 7 p.m. For the full list and the schedule of all of our upcoming conversations about the FY26 budget, please visit montgomerycountymd.gov and click on Community Conversations on our homepage. You can also attend virtually, and I invite you to attend, and I look forward to hearing from you. Finally, we're seeing fewer cases of COVID-19 across Maryland and in Montgomery County. State numbers that monitor the percentage of positive COVID tests over the last 2 weeks show that we hit a low of 11% on Monday, September 9th, almost half the recent high of 20%. In the county, we saw a week-to-week decrease in people hospitalized with COVID-19 Its presence in our community should be a warning to continue to take the respiratory illness seriously. The COVID-19 vaccine still helps protect you from severe disease, hospitalization, and death. Updated vaccines are now available at pharmacies and with your healthcare providers throughout the area. It's especially important to get an updated shot if you are ages 65 and older, are at risk for severe COVID, or have never received a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit vaccines.gov to find a pharmacy or physician near you providing the COVID-19 vaccine. So that's a wrap for today. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back again next week.